Give me everything you know about slope. Shalin. Okay, how many of you remember this one right here? Rise over run. That's slope. That's huge. What else you got? Intercepts. X-intercept, Y-intercept. Coordinates. Yes. In a small way. Direction. Okay. Write that down. Direction. What kind of ways can it go? It can go up or down. And which one's positive and which one's negative? Up is positive, down is negative. Jordan, write it down. Manny, you got it. Everything we write down, you write down. Left and right. The direction? Yes. Okay, what else do we got about slope? Sadie. You got anything else? Logan.
Yeah.
What else you got?
Formula.
What formula? There is a formula. Okay, here's a formula. Y equals mx plus b. Do you remember this guy right here? Y equals mx plus b. Where's the slope in this formula? M is your slope. So that's one formula. We're going to do this Monday. There's another formula to find slope. Yes, write this one down. This one's huge. Y sub 2 minus y sub 1 divided by x sub 2 minus x sub 1. That equals m. How many of you guys remember the letter of the alphabet m? That is assigned to slope. Slope is m. To find slope, y sub 2 minus y sub 1. These are the coordinates Shalim was talking about. What else do we know about slope? I have to erase some of this stuff. Slope. Write this down. Slope is change. Slope is change. That's how fast something changes. And it can change in a positive direction or a negative direction. Your bank account can grow or it can shrink. It can grow fast or it can grow slow. So the change is what we're talking about. Have you seen this? Draw fraction. Change in y on top. Change in x on the bottom. At least y is always on top. Always, always. X is always on bottom. Okay, let's practice some slope. Slope is change. You got it, Alexa? Watch this. See if you can find the change. Now, we're not doing graphs. We're going to do story problems. What is the change right here? Bob got a signing bonus of 10 grand. He makes $6,600 a month with his new job. What is the slope? Caitlin? What is the slope? Slope is change. What's changing? Huh? What is it? How much is it? What's changing? Melanie. What's changing? M equals $6,600 every month. You times it. It's 6,600x. Kevin, it is always times to x. X is your month. So if he works for 10 months, I'm going to do 10 times 6,600. What is this changing? In what direction? Positive or negative? It's positive. Each month he gets $6,600. So you always write it times a variable. And we're going to use x, but you can really, x stands for m, which is month. X stands for month. What about B? The bike store requires a $50 deposit and $100 every day to rent a mountain bike. Jolt, what's the change? What's changing? For every day. So how much is it changing every day? $100. Write it down. Every day for D, 100D, or that's the same thing as 100X. But here's the question. What direction is it changing? Down, up. How does it change up if you're who? If you're the person renting, is it changing down or up? Why down? Because you're paying. So if you're renting the bike, your money is going down $100 every day. What if you're the store? It's going up. So it depends on your point of view. What about C? This is where it's going to get into the good stuff. C. It took me 6 hours to hike 12,000 feet. I want the average rate. What was my average speed? What was my average change? The average. What? 12,000 divided by 6. Why 12,000 divided by 6? You did it in physics. What's 12,000 divided by 6? Your answer is 2,000 feet every hour. So which one of these is X and which one's Y? This is your Y. Y is always on top. X is always on bottom. Now look at this. Write a little note here. Put a star. X is always time. So here's our two quantities. Hours and feet. Which one of those is time? Hours. So your independent variable, your X is always going to be time. And it always goes on the bottom. So if it took me 6 hours to hike 12,000 feet, my slope, or my average rate of change, was 2,000 feet every hour. Does that make sense? Let's go over here. Let's go different types of slope. Positive, what does it look like? Uphill. Draw an arrow. Looks like that. Write this down. No, we're going to skip those. Rises from left to the right. Draw a picture. Use your notes. A positive slope from left to right goes up. What does a negative slope look like? Down from. So from left to right, what's it doing? From the left to the right, it's dropping. So it falls from left to right. Okay, these two, you're going to have to memorize them. Antonio, is there such thing as a zero slope? What is an example of a zero slope? Something with zero slope is this floor. This floor has zero slope. If you set a ball on this floor, it will not roll. It might. Figurative. Yeah, zero slope is a flat line, just like this floor. You need to memorize this, the equation for a zero slope. You got one of two choices. Let's say, here's your coordinate plane. Let's say you got a graph right here. That graph has a zero slope, right? Your equation for this line is either, let's say that's a 3, is either y equals 3 or x. Man, this pen is not working. X equals 3. Which one is it? Y equals 3 or x equals 3? Which one? 0 is always, write this down, it's always y equals something. Which axis does it go through? Here's how I memorize it. Which axis does it go through? It goes through the y-axis. So your answer is going to be y equals. Okay, let's talk about undefined slope. What do you know about undefined slope? What does it look like? Undefined slope looks like a vertical line. Straight up and down. Like this wall. You cannot walk up this wall. It's undefined. So what's the equation of a vertical line? X equals something. You have to memorize them. Sarah, y equals is horizontal, x equals is vertical. You got to memorize it somehow. Here we go. A, B, and C do not match up with these graphs. So let's ignore these graphs until later. A, your homework is going to give you this. It's going to give you 2 points. And you're going to find the slope of a line that goes through those 2 points. So your first point is -1 and 4 and 1 and -2. What are you going to use to calculate the slope of those 2 points? Manny, you're going to use this. Y sub 2 minus y sub 1 divided by x sub 2 minus x sub 1. You remember this? Your y's have got to be on top. X is on bottom. So in your order pair, do you remember which one's x and which one's y? Alright, x, label it. X, y, x, y. Okay, the order does not matter as long as your y is on top and x is on bottom. So let's draw a fraction bar. And I'm going to do this. I'm just going to go left to right. So I'm going to choose the first y, which is 4. Or you could do a -2. Whatever you want. I'm going to do 4. Subtract my other y, which is -2. And your x is going to be a -1. Subtract 1. Now let's clean it up. Let's simplify it. What's 4 minus a -2? That is 6. What's on bottom? What's -1 minus 1? -2. So what is 6 divided by a -2? Your slope is a -3. Okay, you guys try B and C.